The South African Democratic Teachers Union, or SADTU, says their members are ready for the National Senior Certificate exams, which start today. With more than 800,000 pupils expected to sit for their final exams today across the country. Well, joining us on Zoom this morning is SADTU General Secretary Mugwena Maluleke. Dr. Mugwena Maluleke, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Exciting, also quite scary, I imagine, for many of our matriculants. But let's talk to us about SADTU's message, particularly to the teachers, as we get going with the exams.
Good morning, and to your viewers at home. The message to our teachers is that we want to urge them to continue to help our students as they go through revision, because there's time between subjects in terms of the writing. As for today, we also want to wish our students to really relax as they write the examination. I mean, it's a 12th year of a journey that they have undertaken, and it's a milestone, and therefore nothing should really be standing on their way today. They should be able to write this first paper and be able to be successful around that. But we really thank, because we're very grateful to our teachers for what they work over weekend. They work during school holidays. Basically, they don't have family life, and this is some of the things that we need to be able to always remember and thank them for the work they're doing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is D-Day for those matriculants who would have been leaning quite heavily on their teachers throughout the year to get them ready for this particular period. And maybe you can talk to me about the role of SADTU really in getting teachers really on the bandwagon, especially when you look at some of the poorer schools, right? The schools that have the least resources, where so much more is expected from our teachers, especially those that are working with matriculants.
Those with less resources really are confronted with those particular realities. But what we know from our teachers and from our union is that we encourage those teachers to really improvise. Some of them have been taking the students over weekend and really over camps that have been able to really help the student, but obviously also, supporting our teachers throughout in terms of psychosocial services. We have got partners that we work with where teachers are exposed to higher level of stress. We help them to deal with that situation. I'm quite excited to say that one of the branches of SADTU in Lebode has even called a meeting of these teachers to orientate them around issues that normally would affect them when it's the time for examination, but also encouraging them to move even a mile ahead in terms of preparing for their students as they're coming to write today. That is an example of what support you can give to our teachers, is to make sure that indeed we appreciate them, and that goes a long way.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the data that was shared by the Basic Education Minister, as she, of course, wished our matriculants well as well. And she's talked about 70 part-time monitors that will be deployed to oversee high-risk centers, 987 high-risk examination centers. And I mean, I'm just looking at some of the numbers. There's 70 monitors versus 987 high-risk examination centers. I mean, what do you make of the resources that are available versus the high levels of risk that we're looking at here?
Well, the resources are so negligible, and because they are not enough to be able to deal with that. What is enough, though, is the communities, because the communities are the center and the nerve center of us having stability in those particular high-risk areas. Hence, in our statement, we're making a call for the communities to really do everything they can to love their children, love the future, and love their schools through our campaign, which we call our School Fair. So, because that is the only sustainable solution. You can deploy thousands and thousands of soldiers, but if the community is not ready for education, they will still find a way of ensuring that when you come back the following day, there is no school, okay? Because the soldiers or police can only patrol during the day when the students are writing. But what happens during the night is something that will shock you when you come back tomorrow to write mathematics or accounting. So for us, a sustainable way is for people to love education, respect education, and know that it's a game changer, and therefore not subject our children to any shock or any drama that we normally see.
Yeah, but I mean, there's something to be said about the allocation of those of these resources ahead of these results, particularly as you look at, we are in fact in a government of national unity. You've got a basic education minister who comes from formerly opposition benches in Siviwe Gwagube. And if you think that just in the run-up to these exams that she is setting the right tone for the 7th administration?
Well, in terms of whatever had to happen when we write examination, we really appreciate what the Department of Education is doing. However, what I'm saying is that we need sustainable solutions, because whatever is temporary is going to be not sustainable at the end of the day, because it is going to be deployed now. What happens in the next examination will be told that there's no budget around this. We appreciate everything the department has done to ensure that there's security for the papers, but there's also safety for our students as they go to school. We appreciate that. What we need, what I'm saying is that we need permanent solution, and permanent solution is us as the citizens of this country. Why would we need so much resources to be deployed instead of deploying those resources to employ teachers in the foundation phase, to employ teachers in the grade R? And so, because that's when we build the foundation, not at the last of the exit, where we deploy so much resources when we are at the exit point. It shows that the system is a little bit sick, and therefore we need to have better remedies for the system. And the remedy is me and you respecting education and making sure that we do not create obstacles to our children to write examination. We shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, but does SADTU have the ear of the Basic Education Minister to have that particular conversation around the resources? And we talked about just, you know, the deploying of monitors, for instance, to examinations. But there is the bigger discussion around the money that is not available to keep teachers in the system, to employ more and such. What have been their interactions between SADTU and the new minister?
With the department, we have an engaged education. We are approaching the Department of Finance, and we must not see austerity measures. Obviously, the minister, we work directly with the department through the Director General, and I think she gets a message, and obviously she supports that particular message that says we need to work together and then ensure that the Minister of Finance really can get it, that this is not an expense, this is an investment in education, in our future, and therefore we need more money to ensure that there are more teachers employed, there are more assistant teachers that are employed to help our children that lack social capital, because most of them, they have parents who are migrant workers, some are not able to assist them. We need them to be assisted by our assistant teachers. So we need a lot of resources, and the minister gets this particular message, and obviously she's also able to articulate that particular message that she gets from the unions as we meet.
Yeah, you know, we're running our X-poll this morning. We're asking our viewers to vote on whether or not they expect that the results will be this year better than what we saw last year. An important year for matric exams. 82.9% was our matric pass rate in 2023, the highest since 2009. We're asking whether or not this class will do better than 2023. 66% of people have said that those results will improve, but 10% are not so confident, 24%. I mean, where's your measure of how well this class certainly can do with the resources and the work that's been done to improve their performance in 2024, Dr. Maluleke? And perhaps you'll reflect on your own matric exams and any flash moments that still terrify you that perhaps our learners should be thinking about today.
Well, Naledi, I must say that as such, we always maintain one message. The message is that there will be improvement. We don't want to attach ourselves to any percentage. What we are concerned is that we need to continue to improve the education, and the quality of the outcome is what we are always going to say. We hope that it's going to be improving. We believe that our teachers have done their work, and then we'll improve the quality of the outcome of this particular education system. Flashback is that, you know, when I was writing my biology, I arrived late in the examination because I was working self-supporting as a student, and I arrived almost about 2 hours late. And I remember my teacher who had said, "You cannot write." And I cried because I was writing in the afternoon, and I had to go and write for almost, I was left with 1 hour to write, and then they allowed me to write, and there it is. I got a D.
And he got a D, and today he is Dr. Mugwena Maluleke. If that isn't motivation for our matriculants, I don't know what is. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, and thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Mugwena Maluleke, there of the South African Democratic Teachers Union. All right, we take